Look at me. Parents, right here. If you don't watch any other episode of this show, you need to watch this one. This is the one. Go ahead.
That's a bold statement. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Is This for Kids? I am Jonathan Bearded Blevins.
I am Katie, Mrs. Ruby Rubalcaba.
And we are both parents, not together.
Not together.
You have 5 children.
I do.
I have 3. My oldest is 8. Your oldest is 100.
Wow. She's 15, but yeah.
Yeah, so she's watching all the R-rated movies for sure. 15.
No, she's a good egg. She's a good kid. You're just mad because she doesn't live in a box.
And our whole purpose of this podcast, Is This for Kids, is to help parents discern what media they should or should not be letting their children consume.
Right. We're not here to tell you that you're a good mom or a bad mom or to really shame you in any way. We've kind of got different parenting perspectives on this, and we're just going to kind of give you our best assessment of a situation and allow you to make some choices for yourself.
Yeah. And who would have thought? I've never been called a prude my entire life, but Ruby calls me that at least once an episode. So
at least once an episode, yeah.
We might actually agree. Today we are going to talk about a video game.
Yes. Sometimes we'll do movies. Sometimes we'll do musical artists, books, which we've discovered is a form of media. In fact, one of the oldest forms. We'll do movies and shows, and John learned how to read last year.
Video games,
yes,
as well. And so today we're talking about one of the most popular video games in the last decade, for sure.
Yeah,
Roblox.
Look at me, parents, right here. If you don't watch any other episode of this show, you need to watch this one. This is the one. Go ahead.
That's a bold statement. You've got
strong
5 kids who all but one plays some type of video games, and you're very familiar with gaming. You stream on Twitch, mostly cooking, but also some gaming stuff. Your husband plays games.
Yep.
I stream video games, so this is a topic that we're pretty well versed on.
Yes.
My kids don't play games yet. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but they're getting close. And as soon as I open that door, I know I'm opening it for all 3 of them. That's why we're waiting. But can you explain for the people Roblox?
So Roblox is one of those games that when you try to get your kids to explain it to you, you will eventually lose focus and not understand what's going on and maybe just give them the green light on it because you're confused and scared. And I want to just try not to give that to you right now. So Roblox is a game where it kind of looks like Legos, basically. Visually, that's what you're looking at. And they have games within the game. So a creator can go into the game and using these little 8-bit Lego block characters create different styles of games. They have like tycoons where you're trying to start out with a little tiny business and grow it into something huge. They have trading games where really the only goal is to get a cool item and just walk around and have a cool item. They have things that the kids called obbies, which are obstacle courses, that they jump over things, they answer trivia questions. And then there are things that are like hangout games where you just basically a 1990s chat room with avatars, kind of a situation. Nice. Yes. So Roblox has kind of evolved over the years from in content as more creators come in. So the base game is Roblox, but once you're in Roblox, you're going to hear your kid using terms like Royal High or Adopt Me or obbies, things like that, where there's a granny one, like just a whole bunch of different games within the game. So just knowing Roblox doesn't tell you what your kid is playing. You need to know what game within Roblox your kid is playing. So bunch of different stuff in there, and there's a lot of pitfalls and things. What do you think?
Well, I'm just curious of what you're going to say about whether or not it's for kids, because if I'm a parent listening to what you just said, I'm thinking, sounds pretty harmless.
Yeah.
Legos, the 1990s chat room part, not harmless. I was in some of those. I wasn't weird, but like I was a little, because anytime you ask ASL, that's weird.
Check. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's as weird as I got, but like my goodness.
But everybody did it. And like we were all just putting it out there on the internet, like I'm a 13-year-old girl. What could go wrong?
Yeah. That was horrifying. And so, but other than that, like everything you've said so far as a parent is just kind of like, oh, this game kind of sounds super innocent. Isn't it the same as Minecraft?
Yeah. And that's going to be what parents are thinking going into this whole situation is like, my kid plays this game. Every kid plays this game. Robux, the currency, the in-game currency, is one of the most common birthday present gifts kids are giving in elementary school. And it's, Robux are used to purchase things like additional skins for your avatar. So you can make your avatar cuter, or you can give it, the ability to change its hair color at will and stuff like that. So it's sort of the same way that we talked about before in Fortnite, that you can purchase money and make your avatar more interesting. You can do that with Robux. And you can get some special skills or whatever. But yeah, it sounds super harmless, which is why when I'm telling you right out the gate, It is not for kids. I'm going to tell you right now. My oldest daughter, 15, started playing Roblox a bajillion and a half years ago. Somewhere out there, she's made videos of herself playing it. Like, she's a huge fan from being a little girl. And the game has evolved a lot from those early days, or at least she's found more things from those early days that have made us unwilling to continue playing the game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And share some of those.
Yeah, I just didn't want to dominate the conversation.
I mean, if you want me to go, well,
yeah,
I'll go first because you're an expert in this. As your daughter's played it, I've checked it out. I've seen streamers play it. I've watched YouTube videos. It's one of those things. You know what it reminds me of? Talking about Roblox, and again, some context. I was a youth minister for 15 years, so I had to be familiar with all these types of things in order to help teenagers navigate their lives. And so I always had Roblox and Musical.ly like as two things that your parents like do not let your kids on those apps because there's just way too many opportunities to have your kids talking to strangers, predators, you name it. Though that was just kind of like the stereotype about Musical.ly, which is now TikTok.
Yes.
Talk about a rebrand, like a successful rebrand for them. Because every youth minister now is on TikTok and they were against Musical.ly. So that's interesting. And Roblox was one of those things too, where it's just like, man, the amount of public conversations that are able to be had in that game with strangers is just terrifying.
Exactly.
And anytime you let a kid into something that they can talk to strangers, you're going to get predators there. Yes. And so in Roblox, it's just a little more difficult to control that. Like Fortnite, you can just have a rule with your kids. You don't play with strangers.
Yes.
Great. Or your mic is off. And then you can't hear, it's a fun fact in Fortnite. If you turn your mic like all the way off, you can't hear people either.
Yeah, so you turn off group chat or whatever.
You can't hear anything. You can just play the game. It's a lot harder to do that in Roblox. So for me, I'm with you. Not for kids. Not even a game probably worth playing, especially when Minecraft, which we'll talk about later, has. What are some? There's more. I could go on. There's like 5 other things I think are dangerous about this game.
Specific pitfalls if you're looking for these parents. Not only is it difficult to limit access to your children from other people because they have text chat and voice chat now, but it seems like Roblox has kind of given up on trying to protect kids. So they used to require, in order to even be able to use voice chat, you used to have to register and have an age verification kind of a thing. They no longer require that. Anyone can have voice chat. Voice modulators are very, very common, so people will pretend to be younger than they are. And if you're just a creepy dude, not that you are, but like if someone is, and you hear, oh, the number one gift that people give at elementary school birthday parties is Robux, this is a place I'd like to be. Like, that's just what happens. But then, even like on a lower level, before we get to people getting access to your kids and saying things that are horrible, there are things like trading games. So popular one is Adopt Me. Kids like that. You spawn in with a little egg and you're trying to get the coolest pet. And like that, if you ask your kids to tell you about it, just eye glaze real fast because they'll tell you all the different versions and the colors and the rankings and the whatever. But ultimately, they do stupid things that kids do, like trust trades. You'll hear this phrase where the kid will say, I'm going to do a trust trade, and then they'll come to you crying because they got scammed. A trust trade is just, hey, if you give me your this, I'll give it back to you with something else afterwards. So your kid gives over their prized Adopt Me pet, and the person logs off. And they now no longer have this item, and your 8-year-old's crying, and you're not sure what to do about it because it's not even a real thing. You can't replace it. You don't know what he's even upset about. And it's a common thing. Like, they know that they're going to get scammed, but there's 1 or 2 YouTubers out there who did it and then gave them an epic character or whatever, and they saw it happen on YouTube, so now they think that could happen to them.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, your kid's going to just end up brokenhearted.
It's like the lottery for little kids.
Yes. Except with like, they're actually giving up something they care about all of a sudden. It's very, very strange. I have 5 children, and other than the baby who's never played, she's almost 3, but every single one of my kids has come to me crying because they've been scammed in Roblox. Every single one. Boys, girls, doesn't matter. Yeah. Every time.
And scams were something I was going to talk about. Scams are really a thing with all video games now. With Epic, there's V-Bucks and all kinds of things that people will, give me this and I'll send you this, and it's just kind of weird. So obviously Roblox is not alone in that, but what you're talking about is way different than some of those scams. And heart-wrenching for your kid. There's things called condo games where people like actually use the Roblox game as like a weird sex stuff. There's this thing you can upload with your audio clips that are super inappropriate, and there's no way to govern it. So like anyone can just upload any audio clip they want, and anyone can hear, people having sex, people shooting, so whatever. You can hear all kinds of stuff. And for parents out there who are listening to this, you're probably, maybe some of you are experts, you're probably not like a streamer, and you're probably not don't understand how easy it is to do some of these things. Like to change your voice to sound younger sounds like something that would be really hard. If you have a microphone and a computer, it's very easy.
Very easy.
And so like I wouldn't have known that if I wasn't in the streaming world for the last few years, and if I didn't use it to be like to troll people. I'll make my voice sound like super deep. I'm not doing it to pretend to be a kid. But it's just very easy. And so this game for me, all around, just stay away from, especially when there's so many other good games out there that are a lot safer for your kids.
Yeah, the Hangout streams or the Hangout games is where that is the like subcategory that those condo things fall under. And it's common for those. I had mentioned you can do in-game purchases with Robux. Creators can create T-shirts, like people, game creators in Roblox can create T-shirts that you can buy. So you can use your parents' money that they got you on a Robux gift card to buy a T-shirt that now makes your character appear to have giant boobs, or to be naked, or to be whatever. And Roblox tries to do their best to remove those as they show up. But what happens then is they do not refund the money. So your kid maybe buys a licensed character T-shirt and that gets stripped off. Those will actually get stripped out a lot faster than the nudity.
Oh, sure.
Which is a lot of fun and interesting. So your kid spends, 15 actual real life dollars on this upgrade that now is no longer available to them. I believe there's a pending lawsuit about it, actually, because people are spending real life money and then the game nixes the thing that they've purchased with no refund.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a bummer as far as like scams are going, and at the same time. And then when you're looking at things that seem so simple, like an obstacle course game where like all you're doing is jumping and answering trivia questions, the trivia questions will regularly include things that are not appropriate for children. So if your kid can read, there's a chance that they're going to be reading a trivia question or something that pops up on this game that's going to be sexually motivated or ask them to reveal their location, all sorts of things. This game is extremely dangerous for children.
I'm with you. And we're not usually doom and gloom, especially you. Like you're like, open and trying to see, like, you can parent your kids through a lot of stuff and have them have that experience. So for you to say that it's not a game that you let your kids play, especially after they've played it, is huge. Same for me. Weird, by the way, like I hate that we have to be so negative here, but it's true. But man, there's just horrible people on the internet. I signed up both my sons for fantasy football for the first time ever this year, and a 10-person random ESPN league.
Yeah.
Just so they could play. They want to play. They want to learn. It's like, okay, cool. The inappropriate names of the other teams in that draft, racist, sexist, homophobic, you name it, just horrible stuff. And my kids can read. Yeah. So they're like, what is that, Daddy? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to talk to you about fantasy football. How dumb is this? Weirdly, all of those names got changed to something appropriate after the draft. So like,
that's good.
That's awesome. Yeah. But I was just like, come on. My kids are walking around the house like telling their like my wife and their friends like, oh, we learned today that there's a really bad person in fantasy football. And I'm just like,
yeah.
People are bad. Roblox enables people to be bad.
Yeah, and I try to be a little bit more nuanced about it. Like I don't want to believe everybody on the internet is bad, because I personally have an online community full of fantastic humans, and so do you. But like even if you may not know that your kid might be that kid, and they might not be trying to be awful, but you know how kids get when they're like, I'm just going to say the worst word I can think of right now.
Yeah.
And then they're on the internet and they're semi-anonymous, so your kid is going to like become comfortable, possibly. If your kid wants to say the worst thing that they can come up with, they're going to be saying the C word, they're going to be saying the N word, things that are just not good. And then it just desensitizes them to using that language until you see these videos of kids playing Call of Duty and it's awful. Yeah. So like, I just feel like Roblox is so nebulous. It's so difficult to pin down as a parent. It's so hard to understand what's going on that parents quickly check out and don't want to oversee the whole thing. And as soon as you're gone, that's when the bad happens.
Yeah. So Mrs. Ruby and Bearded Blevins both saying Roblox.
No.
Not for kids.
Not for kids. My kid currently has a Roblox gift card he can't use. So if you want to trade me for like something, let me know.
That's hilarious. Yeah. We are going to have a much different outlook, mayhaps, on Minecraft.
Yeah.
A little bit later. But for now, people can find us on YouTube and Instagram, and where all podcasts live. They can give us 5 stars or 4.5 stars, but no less than that. And give us suggestions on things you want us to review. But one of my favorite things about the potential of the show is that a lot of the content is evergreen, because Roblox has been out forever. And Minecraft forever. And Fortnite is still like the best game of all time as far as ratings go. So the episodes we're doing are going to last for a long time. And so suggest things that are old that people are still playing or watching, etc.
Yeah, questions you have, things that your kids are encountering that you don't want to wade through yourself. John and I'll do it for you.
We'll do it for you. Until next time, we'll see you soon.
We need like a sign-off line. Stay classy, San Diego.
Stay classy. Go Lions.
Oh, nice.